Logan, the Layman Critic here. Once again, we're talking about Patlabor, and today's review is for WXIII, Mobile Police Patlabor the Movie 3. It's from 2002 and is directed by Takuji Endo and Fumihiko Takayama. Just a fair warning, there will be a few spoilers. With that said, let's talk movies. Detectives Kusumi and Hata are investigating numerous attacks, including a plane crash in the ocean, leaving behind a cargo load that is mysteriously ripped open by something deadly and unlike anything they've ever seen. Now, if you've watched my review for Patlabor 2, which I literally just recorded a few minutes ago, you'll know that I didn't care for that movie. Patlabor 3, in my opinion, was a much-needed course correction. The characters are much more engaging, the film keeps a pace going during much of the talking scenes, and there's a good dose of action and suspense. The thing about Patlabor 2 I found was that it really didn't make the most of its medium. As much as I believe that animation can be used for telling any kind of story and that it shouldn't be pigeonholed into comedies or selling toys, I do think certain genres lend themselves better to the medium than others. Animation immediately demands strong visual stimulation from the audience, and dramas are not always the best at doing that. I think the same applies to comics as well, for that matter. Fortunately, Patlabor 3 has the detective angle of the preceding films without the lethargy of the second entry. Spoiler alert, there's a genetically modified, or genetically engineered, I should say, monster. It's used sparingly in the film, and its attacks remind me of the original Alien in some ways. The scene where you see it the first time is pretty intense. You don't know what you're looking at in the moment, and then it's like, oh crap, it's a monster. Like, I really didn't see it coming. I have no idea if the Patlabor TV series has anything like that, but the movies themselves never gave me the impression that it had any strains of the horror genre. It mostly has a hard science fiction edge to it, but I was pleasantly surprised. The two detectives in this entry have no ties to the other movies that I know of. Asuma, Noah, and Goto all make appearances, with the latter having the greatest presence, but they aren't major players and are little more than cameos. That's okay, though, in my opinion, because Hata and Kusumi are both worthy protagonists. I like their relationship. There's a scene in particular that I enjoyed where Hata goes to Kusumi's place and they're discussing his vinyl collection, and they also end up butting heads over Hata's involvement with one of the suspects. And it's a great character scene. Speaking of, Hata's relationship with Saiko, who that's the suspect, unfolds in a compelling way. They interact pretty early on in the movie, and throughout they keep sort of encountering one another, whether by accident or on purpose. And you don't really know how she feels about Hata, and I think the ambiguity of it works. And her backstory, and really her whole story in general, is pretty sad. But I'm not going to say anything more about it because I don't want to spoil the movie. The downside to Patlabor 3 is, once again, the Patlabors are virtually non-existent in this movie. They're in about as much as they are in the second movie. I don't know why they didn't just change the title or set it in a completely different universe altogether. It just screams to me as cashing in on the brand name. But WXIII, Patlabor 3, I liked it a whole lot, and it washed the bad taste out of my mouth from the previous film. I'll have to check out the show. It's a bit hard to find at a decent price, so I might have to look into streaming. Maybe I'll do a review on the show in the future. We'll see. But until next time, ladies and gentle fellows.